Okay, but on a real note, that's not really what I want to talk about. So I really want to talk about like the lessons I learned out of like my breakup from like 3 months ago, and like honestly having no friends, what that kind of taught me. First of all, I had watched this video on DoorDash. She was talking about like what being alone has taught her, and I definitely feel like I could resonate with a lot of it, especially because I mean I'm definitely a lot more younger in life, but I definitely feel like I could resonate with that, especially me who kind of just came out of high school. That's not to say I never really had friends. What I like to say is I never really had deep friends. I never really had friends I can come and talk to and just say anything. I mostly had like acquaintances and like associates, or like I like to call them surface level friends, because to me it's like on the surface level we was friends, yes, but we was only friends when it really only counted. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was in school, we was friends. We would be able to catch up, talk to each other, like, but that was only in school. It wasn't like, oh, outside of school we weren't calling each other, talking to each other. And nothing wrong, I really wish I would have had that, but I realized like being alone is low-key a superpower. I realized, like, especially at the raw age of 18, I realized a lot of people do not know how to be alone. And it's kind of crazy to me that a lot of people don't know how to be alone, because it's like, I'm not gonna say that's one of the first things that you did when you came to this earth, but I am gonna say it's like, I feel like that's one of the things that you should have been used to as you grew up. But I do understand, like, a lot of people just never, been accustomed to just sitting with their self, sitting with their thoughts. And that's why I try to encourage myself and anybody I love to just, learn to be alone with yourself, learn to sit with your thoughts, learn to just be in your own presence, because one thing I realized last year is that it's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. And I know people say it all the time, and you might be questioning, like, what's the fucking difference? They sound the same to me, but when you're being alone, first of all, when you're lonely, you're lonely. It's more of a feeling. Loneliness is a feeling. It's a feeling of like you don't have nobody around you. You could be in a crowded room and still feel lonely. Loneliness is more about an understanding of someone. Like, that's the way I conceptualize loneliness. I conceptualize loneliness as a feeling. Like, I could be around a big group of people, but it's like these people don't know me, or these people don't understand me from a can of paint. I could talk to them and they still don't understand shit I'm saying. That to me is loneliness. That's lonely when no one sees you, understands you. They don't even get out their way to try to know you. That is lonely as hell. That is loneliness. Being alone is more so being with yourself, learning to be in your own company, to be in your own presence, or as people my generation say, learn to be your own aura. I don't even know if that shit makes sense, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you're more comfortable in your own presence in the things you do. You're comfortable in your own company. You don't hate yourself for doing simple things. That's the way I kind of conceptualize it, because that's what it is to me. But I recently realized that I came to the conclusion, especially with me not having a relationship, like me getting out of a relationship a couple months back, and then of course me never having friends, it definitely kind of brought up some pointers in my life about how I navigate relationships and stuff. But I found that, I don't know, it's like when you're alone, it gives you more time to think about things. It gives you more time, especially for me, it gave me more time to think about how I navigated my life, how I talked to myself a lot of times, how I navigated my mind through things. You get what I'm saying? And I don't know, it's a process that's not really easy. I don't ever want to boost nobody's head up and be like, oh, it's easy, all you gotta do is this and this, XYZ. Like, no, it's not easy. You're gonna have feelings come up where it's like you're gonna constantly want to argue and battle with yourself. But I feel like the best advice someone ever told me, anybody, like the best advice anyone could ever told me is like, whenever negative feelings came up, or feelings I didn't necessarily want to agree with or didn't want to have in that moment, anytime they came up, I just felt them. I didn't overanalyze them. I didn't intellectualize them. I just felt them. If I was feeling guilty about something, I let that guilt go through me. If I was feeling angry about something, I let that anger flow through me. I didn't try to ask myself what the fuck I'm angry about. At least not yet. Like, I feel like when you don't give yourself time to actually process your emotions, or give yourself time to feel the emotion go through you, then it's very easy to get caught up and let that emotion kind of like circle or a loop for you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just recently came to the conclusion this year that I never processed my emotions. I never actually felt my emotions. What I did was intellectualize my emotions. What I did was overanalyze my emotions. Like, let's say something happened and I got pissed, right? So instead of like me actually feeling like, okay, I'm pissed, you know, I'm really upset by this, whatever, and thoughts that I would have instead is like, okay, what am I pissed about? Like, why do I have to be pissed about this? This is not to be pissed about. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of all those thoughts, just stop, slow down, feel it. Okay, you're pissed. Feel that pissedness. You know, like, don't ask yourself where it came from, because I promise you, it's gonna show itself. It's gonna tell you without you even having to ask. So just sit down and take a moment and just process that emotion and feel it. It's definitely challenging. It's not the hardest thing, but it's not the easiest thing either. It's challenging because it's different for everybody. You know, things that I learned in my childhood on how to self-soothe. You know, like when I used to get angry or like overreact on something, how I used to self-soothe is to go isolate myself. But, you know, recently with talking with family members and loved ones, you know, they told me that's not a really good thing that you need to do. You know, you can't always get upset and stuff, isolate. Sometimes you're just gonna have to sit with that emotion and, you know, kind of just move on from it. There's nothing wrong with learning how to sit with emotion, but if you constantly always self-isolate, that's something that you're gonna become dependent on. Actually, I've noticed, like, when I do self-isolate, it doesn't even really help all that much. If anything, it just brings me back into a continuous cycle of like, what am I feeling this way for, and then feeling angry at myself for feeling that way. So I was talking to my mom yesterday. I was like, you know, I don't know why, and a lot of times it's hard for me to catch that emotion before I can have it, you know, flow through me. And I found, like, sometimes when I'm with y'all, I found that it's like, if I'm chilling and I'm with y'all and I'm angry about something, or like emotion kind of flip and I have like emotion, whether it's mad, angry, or whatever, if I'm chilling with my family, it's like it kind of just naturally flows away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it naturally kind of just leaves your body. You don't even dwell about it longer. Versus, it's like if I self-isolate and go to my room, it's like I dwell on it even longer. And it's crazy because, you know, at first you would have thought that's something that helped you, you know? And I ain't gonna lie, like, a lot of things that we do, I realized, like a lot of things that we did that helped at a certain point of our life, it's like, girl, that shit is so hindering you so bad. And I honestly, I feel like I had an inkling that I knew in the sense it was hindering me, but I never really came to the conclusion until my mom had told me, and she was like, you know, Kiana, that's not healthy. Like, you may think it's healthy, but I'm telling you, it's not healthy when you just go self-isolate. One, because you're fucking up someone's vibe. You're messing up the mood of the room. And I've never been the type of person that cared about the mood of the room, because bitch, the mood of the room ain't shit to do with me. That shit can change and flip up any fucking day. But I definitely can be conscious and mindful of the fact that, you know, like, if we already on good terms, we vibing and stuff, and something happens and you get upset, you know, learn to just sit with that acceptance. You don't have to go storm off and go to the room and isolate and, you know, do all that, because I don't know, like, looking back, it's low-key kind of dramatic when you do that, because it's like you indirectly letting people know that you're upset. And it's not to say there's anything wrong with letting people know that you're upset, but I'm saying, if you're gonna let people know, tell them in a way that's actually communicatory to them. Storming off and going to self-isolate that's not healthy. You're not communicating with anybody. If anything, it's annoying, you know? Especially, I can't speak for everybody else and people, but I know for me it's annoying, because it's like, that's something I used to regularly do. I used to regularly have, like, get my emotions to overreact, and I'm working on it now. It's definitely, you know, something that needs to be mastered and work on, but that's why I think being alone is very important. That's why I think taking the time to actually sit with your thoughts and meditate. I know a lot of people be like, oh, I can't meditate, I was one of those people too. You don't, like, I was one of those people so bad. I used to say all the time, I could not meditate for shit, because, like, the moment I sit down, it's like I immediately want to open my eyes. But I realized, talking to someone and actually, like, watching a couple videos on meditation, I learned that meditation is literally just being relaxed and doing nothing. Doing absolute jack shit. And when I say, like, relax, I mean relax. Like, I used to think, like, meditation being have to sit in yoga, like this lotus pose, crisscross applesauce, go in nature. And I'm not saying that's not meditation. You could do that. If that works for you, then that works for you. But I also noticed that meditation is just simply relaxing and just not doing anything, letting your thoughts just flow. You know, I've noticed, like, anytime I meditate, I know it's like, anytime I do get in that state, I think one thing that irritates me about meditation that I know people speak about, but it's like, people don't speak on how to, like, actually combat it, or how to, not really how to combat it, but how to, like, kind of solve it, is that, like, anytime I start to, like, meditate, I, like, it's as soon as I get in that state of like I'm super relaxed, it's like my mind just shuts off, and it's like I go straight to sleep. And I know a lot of people have that problem when they meditate. It's like your mind, you get so relaxed, and it's like your mind just switches, and it's like you just go straight to fucking sleep. And I actually realized that last night when I meditate, like right before sleep, before I went to bed, like permanently went to bed before I like, went to bed. I noticed like there'll be times where I have to like consciously keep myself awake. It is so weird, but it helps so much. It's like, it's weird because it's like, you're relaxed, you can fall asleep at any moment, but it's weird because when you're meditating, you have to keep yourself awake. But at the same time, it's like you keep yourself awake, it doesn't actually feel like you're meditating, if that makes sense. Like to me, like if I keep myself consciously awake while I'm in that deep state, for some reason it don't really feel like I'm meditating. It don't really feel like I'm quiet. But I know it is, because I know my mind is more quiet than usual. I noticed it because it'd be more quiet than usual. I noticed it because I'm not like going back and forth with it. Actually, I notice a lot more when I'm thinking, hey, be awake. And then it's like, I'm like, wait, my mind is so quiet. Why is my mind so quiet? So I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't have a desire for a relationship. I'm not even saying that I don't ever want to be in one again. But I definitely think there's a lot of importance in being alone and what that will teach you, especially when it comes to friendships. It's crazy because, like I said, I was just watching that video on DoDash, and she was just talking about like how she when she was little, she wanted friends so bad. And it's like, girl, I related you so bad on that, because I remember I'm still in the early teens, but I remember when I was little as fuck, like when I was 12, 13 years old, I wanted a friend so fucking bad. I wanted a friend, just make one fucking friend, and I couldn't do that shit. At least not to the extent that I want. Like people had them friend groups, and when I mean friend, I mean friends, like the ones you could text and call to about anything, like the ones you'll probably send a nude to, like those type of deep friends. Now, I'm not saying you don't need those type of friends to live a good life, because I feel like every relationship is important, whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic. Every relationship is important as long as you nourish it and actually begin to love and accept it. But oh my gosh, man, I was like, man, when I was like in middle school, early high school, and I was trying to make friends, it was so fucking hard for me. I don't know why, but it was so fucking hard for me, because it was like, it felt impossible. It's like I couldn't relate to nobody about anything. And I don't know if it's around that time because I didn't really know myself too well, but I also think it's because around that time I feel like I was transitioning to, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like the best way I could describe it is I was transitioning to learning about my mind. I was so deep into trying to learn about my mind, learn why I do the things I do. I felt like I was so, oh, look at that dog, it's so cute. I was too self-aware of the way I acted. So it was like I couldn't really relate to people, because it's like a lot of people were not self-aware to the things they did. And you can't make a person be more self-aware than what they already are. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, but you really can't, So it's like I really couldn't feel like I relate to a lot of people when it came to the things that I really want to talk about. I'm the type of person where it's like I can talk about everything and nothing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I can talk about the mind, I can talk about manifestation, I can talk about the Bible, I can talk about all these things, but at the same time I don't want to have to be like that conversation starter every day. I'm not the type of person who just want to automatically start off on a deep conversation, but I am the type of person where it's like I won't mind starting off on a deep conversation. Like I like to talk about, like I said, everything and nothing, because it's nice. It's nice to being able, like, you want to know you can be able to talk to people about everything and nothing, like literally. And I know I keep saying that, but I really don't know any other words to emphasize on the fact that it's like, a lot of people, I feel like I couldn't relate, especially to the girls in my time. It's like the girls in early high school were very, I wouldn't say boy obsessed, but they were very obsessed with like just general basic stuff. Like you're obsessed with getting a man tissue back, and it's like, I don't know, I didn't want to be that type of person, be like, girl, who gives a fuck, because I knew, especially around 9th and 10th grade, I definitely was not looking for no man. I didn't even have my first relationship until until high school. I think late high school. That's when I had my first relationship. But I wouldn't date no man. I wasn't even interested in men. Like, funny enough, like, if you ask anybody who knows me, they would tell you, like, the only type of men I was interested was 2D men. I was only interested in fictional men. I could not even dare to think I could be with a real man, like an actual, like, real life boy, Pinocchio style. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could never dare to think I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really crazy, like, how far that jump has came. But it's also, you know, it's like I said, it's important to be able to be alone. It's important to sit with yourself and really ask yourself the qualities of, like, what do I want for myself in this life? What do I want for myself for this year, this life for me, you know? And it's really important. And don't be too discouraged if you want different things, you know. I've learned that every year in my life I'm gonna want something different. You know, what I wanted when I was 16 is not gonna be the same thing I wanted when I was 18. You know, I've learned that there are gonna be so many things that change about me as I grow and as I unlearn some beliefs and learn some new beliefs. You know, like, as I unlearn some things, there are gonna be some things where it's just like, I don't even think I really want to do that again no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I discreetly remember when I was 16, I didn't want to do shit. I didn't want to work. I didn't even, like, this is maybe a little bit triggering, but I didn't even want to be alive at that point. And I don't know, it's probably like I don't know if that was like the standard emotion for everybody at 16, because what I do, like, I don't know why, but at 16, everybody's lives was fucking changed. Like, that, for some reason, that was the most dramatic fucking time of a teenager's life, is 16, 17. For some fucking reason, it is. But honestly, if I didn't go through the things I went through at 16, I wouldn't be here on camera being able to talk about the things I talk about now. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think it's important to be able to discern what you want, to be able to discern the things that you say you want. Because for real, be honest. Like, do you really want that, or are you saying you want it because that's what the world tells you that you should want? Are you for real sure that you like that thing? Like the thing that you even want for real, or the thing that you desire? Or are you saying that you want it or desire it because that's what the world told you? That's how they make it seem. They glamorize and say, hey, you know, like, I know so many people who don't even like traveling for real, but guess what? Because the internet glamorizes so fucking much, everybody be want to travel. And there's something wrong. If you don't want to travel, if you do want to travel, there's something wrong. But I'm saying that's not something you truly want to do. Then really ask yourself and really say, like, okay, that's not something I want to do. Cultivate your life for you. I feel like a repeating lesson I'm constantly getting in my life is to make sure this life is for you. Do what you want to do. Stop trying to go with the fucking internet wants. Stop trying to go with what your peers want to do. Stop trying to go with what your fucking family wants to do. Do what you want to do for you. It's your fucking life. And I know it's simple because it is simple. And I know a lot of people are gonna, like, not make it simple in their head, but it's so very fucking simple. Really sit down and ask yourself, what do I want for myself in this life? Whether I'm 20, whether I'm 30, whether I'm 40, whether I'm 50, hell, whether you're 18, whether you're 16, I don't give a fuck if you're 14, I don't give a fuck if you're 12 years old. Like, what do you really want for yourself? Even you can still ask yourself at 12 years old, what the fuck I want as a 12-year-old? You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if it's an action figure. I don't give a damn if something simple as new shoes. If that's something you truly want, not because of what the internet say, not because of what your peers say, not because of what your family say, there's something you truly want because you know it will make a big difference in your life. Actually work your mind to strive for it. And I know it's easier said than done because a lot of things are, but sometimes you just have to do it without the overthinking thoughts of what if it don't work, what if it is, but you know what I'm saying, just do it, you know, because you'll never know if you don't do it. You'll never know if you don't ask the questions. You'll never know if you don't just do it. As Nike said, fucking do it, you know. Speaking of Nike, love her. She was the goddess. Like, I didn't even know that Nike was inspired by the goddess Nike. Didn't even know that until, well, actually I did know that. I just forgot that it was by a goddess. I did know that Nike was from a historical thing, but I just forgot it was actually a goddess from that. And Pure, she's a goddess of victory. Pure. But yes, I think that's just something that we all have to realize in our life at some point in time, especially the more older we get and the more you start to learn new things and go out and explore new things, you're gonna constantly ask yourself that question of, what do I want for myself? You know, and I think the best time to ask those questions are really when you're alone, when you're not around people, because then you'll have an open and honest conversation with yourself and being like, do I really want this thing? Nah, I didn't really want it. I just thought I wanted it because my friends had it, or I saw on the internet somebody had it, So I definitely think being alone is definitely important. And remember, being alone and being lonely is not the same thing. You could be alone and thrive in life and do the things you want to do, but being lonely, completely different thing. But that's all I wanted to talk about. My mom is in there getting her fucking eyebrows wet, so that's the conversation for today, you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Make sure you take care of yourself, and I really appreciate you for watching this video all the way through. If you did, I really appreciate you for taking the time to sit there and actually take the time to watch me and hear what I have to say. Thank you. So just have a great day, you guys, and remember that being alone is not a bad thing. It's actually the most beneficial thing you ever have in your life, I'm telling you. So just keep that in mind. But bye.